Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video I want to talk about a phenomena that occurs when you cut out the fundamental frequency of your synth. You can still perceive the right pitch, even if you cut out the fundamental notes with EQ. And that phenomena occurs because your brain calculates your overtones and the spaces between them to give you the information about the initial pitch. So this trick is very handy when you want to create contrast between your intro and your drop. So especially when transitioning from build up into the drop, you want to feel that raise in the energy, but most people, they fail right there because it just doesn't feel the same. Say they play their drop in isolation and it sounds awesome, but then creating that little transition into the drop is where it just doesn't feel right. So I have a little demo right here and it's nothing serious, but I want you to focus on the low end and how low end like contrasts in the build up against the drop. Let's just play that. There's a lot, like a huge emotional shift between the build-up and the drop. Let me show you how that works exactly. If you have a perfect sine wave that barely has any harmonics, well, a perfect sine wave is not supposed to have any, you will not be capable of doing that. So if I actually play a note, let's say that would be C4 right here, and let me open up that Pro Q3, and you can see that there are some, there are some harmonics higher up in the spectra, but, there's not a lot of information to read off of. So if I actually move the EQ, boom, you cannot hear anything almost. Like just a little click somewhere in the high end, right? When the note starts. Just an attack. But it's just the fundamental. There's nothing else. There are no harmonic series. There are no overtones. Nothing is happening. On the other hand, if I change to sawtooth right here, oh, that's interesting. So we can still hear the note because of the overtones. But not only that, we can also hear the exact pitch. Because there's a mathematical equation actually. Our brain actually calculates the space between all the harmonics to give us the information about the fundamental pitch. And that is pretty crazy. And you can actually see that if you move the EQ further up right here. Okay. So our fundamental is, let's say around, how much is it? Like 250 Hertz. If I go one octave up, our fundamental is around 500 Hertz. Both of those fundamentals are still not present in the sound that I hear in my headphones. Both of them are heavily high passed, right? But I still hear the difference. So that difference lies in the harmonics, because you can see that on this octave and on this octave here, the harmonics or the overtones, they just look slightly differently. And that gives you the information about the exact pitch. So this phenomena is absolutely what you need to know to create contrast between your intro and your drop. So how do you use that? Usually, like as we saw, it's not very good to use a pure sine wave for these purposes, right? Because sine wave is just too clean. But if you use something like a sawtooth and create like what I call an intro low pad, like this thing you heard right here in the buildup. Let me get back to my older FL Studio. So once you hear something like that, you don't really need to actually have any low-end information in there, because if you do, if you have a lot of it, you're probably going to carry it over into your drop. Well, at least you will expect the energy to rise compared to the low end that you had in your buildup. And unfortunately, there's only so much headroom that you have in electronic music. So, it might not really work. So here's how you fix that. You basically just cut out the low end and pretend it's there through harmonics. If I open my EQ, you can see right here, the fundamental, the pitch is located right here, but it's not really there. You don't really need to have it, because if I had it, ooh, you can hear a lot of heavy low end, and because it's already there, the contrast is just not going to be correct for the drop. It's just not going to work. But since we don't have it, I kind of high pass this stuff out. We have a lot of headroom for actual sub bass, not perceived through this phenomena, but an actual sub bass in the drop to fill that space and fill that void and give the energy. And technically, you can do this with a lot of with a lot of instruments. You can high pass everything just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit for your kicks, your snares, and your subs to kick in and punch that drop in the face. You can hear that one more time. Let's just play that. You can even hear the contrast in the kick drum, because there's a little build-up kick drum right here. But it's a fake build-up kick drum because the fundamental is cut out. You cannot really hear the kick drum, but when the real kick drum hits, boom, it really smacks. So even in my build-up, I use the phenomena of missing fundamental to actually create the sensation of a kick being present in the build-up, so you can hear it kind of speed up. And you feel it, but it's weak as hell. It doesn't have what makes it a kick drum. Actually, the fundamental is not there. If you found this video interesting, please comment, like, and subscribe. This channel is not growing as fast as I wish it would. Also, I'm teaching full-time, so if you would like to learn from me, send me an email telling me a little bit about yourself, telling me that you would like to take online classes. Have a wonderful day and see you around.